searching all my life for someone like him. And all this time I thought that he was just a friend. But not just anybody can touch my body. And then he came along and showed me pleasure like I never known. He's got that magic. Ooh, he's got that magic. Ooh, he's got that magic. The way he touches me is so
Hey,
special.
yes, India.
Miracle, yeah. He's got that
Gotta get somebody with some magic. Hey. I had to get something to pump me up for the night.
The way he touches me is so spiritual. He's so everything. He's a miracle. Yeah.
That's that
Just to
beat.
look at his face, you would never know that he's the one.
Yes.
But after one conversation, you will see where I am coming from.
Gotta get somebody with that magic.
His humor is so wicked. And he's a brainiac. And he makes me laugh like an aphrodisiac.
Hey.
He's got that magic.
Yes.
He's got that magic.
Shop talk with the Heiress. We gotta go.
He's got
Yes.
that magic.
Yes, I love this song. I've been rocking to this song all day.
He's a miracle.
Yes.
He's got that magic.
Hi.
He's got that
Hey.
He's got that magic.
Gotta get somebody with that magic.
He touches me, he's so spiritual. He's so everything.
He's a miracle. Hey. Hey. Yes. We gotta go Shop Talk live.
In the instant he touched me, I knew what I've been waiting for.
For the single ladies, we gotta wait for that one that got that magic. Yes.
Every other man next to him is so mundane. In a world of cocaine, he's like fine champagne.
Woo! Fine
He's
champagne.
so odd and so unique. Everything about this man is made especially for me.
I need someone specially made for me. Not for nobody else, but for me. Till then, I'll be single. Ah.
The way he touches me, he's so spiritual, he's so everything. He's a miracle, yeah. He's got that magic. He's got that magic.
Yes.
He's
Got that magic.
the way he touches me, he's
Better
so
get you one.
spiritual, he's so everything. He's a miracle.
I need a miracle for me. Hey, sis. Yes. Yes. We need one that just for me. A miracle just for me. Yes, that beat is like fire though. Ooh. I think I'm gonna have this song played at that launch party. I hope y'all gonna be there. July 19th, launch party. 2nd edition reloaded. I know I'm playing this song. Y'all gonna have to watch out for me on the dance floor when I get up on there, cause I'm be like, cause I need somebody that got that magic. Hey y'all, hi everybody. I just needed me something to lift me up. Today is Monday. Shop Talk with the Heiress. We're gonna be talking about some stumbling blocks in our lives, but I had to get right because I had 15 keys in here earlier today with Operation Young Boss, our entrepreneurial youth program that we do with the city. And every week, every Monday morning from 10 to about 12, I have 15 kids in here in this salon, and they pull so much from me, and I love it. I love it. Their energy is so high, but I tell you what, by the time they go, I am so drained, and I have to get ready for the shop talk later on. And I'm like, okay, I need something to get me going. So, I had India Irie on for the kid. We play music in here. One little girl said, "Play India Irie," and so I stumbled across this song after they left. And I was like, "Ooh, I like this," and I played it like 3 times. I'm like, okay. Yes, this is what I need. So I had to get myself right for y'all, Can't come up on here, can't come tired, can't bring you no information tired. Gotta get pumped up and souped up for you. So tonight on Shop Talk with the Heiress, we are going to be talking about being aware of the stumbling blocks in your life. And because now normally I really don't talk about scriptures or anything like that on Shop Talk, because I do Rose from the Concrete Ministries. That's on Sunday mornings. But we're gonna kind of mix it up because of the simple fact that as entrepreneurs or people that are going into business, or just wherever you're at in your life and your season, on the path that you're going on for this time of this season, we really have to be mindful of things that trip us up, really people that trip us up. And a lot of times the stumbling blocks in our lives are not people that are outsiders. A lot of times they are close to us. They are near to us. They sometimes are friends. They are sometimes family. Hey, everybody that's just tuning in. Sometimes they are family members. Sometimes they're close associates, friends. But most of the time they're close to us. Because a lot of times it's hard to get tripped up by people that you really don't know. Because a lot of times their outside people opinions don't really matter. A lot of times when we're looking for approval, or we're looking for encouragement, we're looking for things as we go along on our journey, a lot of times we're looking for the people closest to us to encourage us, to support us, and to like jump in and help us, right? On this journey. So the reason why I'm actually talking about this is because of the simple fact that, I do a lot of things. I have my hands, foot, my knees, my mouth, my elbows into a lot of different situations and scenarios and businesses and activities and projects. And recently, I had a conversation with someone, and I actually was just calling them, and I was happy when I called them, and I was trying to get some information from them. I wasn't even thinking that they were going to be asking me any type of questions about one of the things that I'm doing, one of my projects that I'm doing. I didn't even call them for that to have a conversation about a project that I was doing or anything like that. I actually was calling them for some information so that I can contact someone else. But this is a close associate of mine that's within my circle, and who I normally value their opinion about my life and the things that I do and stuff like that. And just so happened that this person began to ask me some questions about a project that I was doing. And they actually wasn't asking me questions to get information. They was not asking me questions to help. They wasn't asking me questions because they wanted my answer. They were asking me questions to trip me up, to make me feel bad about what I was doing. So and when I actually got off the phone with them, I felt like all of my energy was drained. I was frustrated. even to the point where I was like, should I even be, I start questioning whether or not I should be doing what I was doing. I mean, I actually began to cry. Like, now here's the thing. I called them for some information about something else. And after that conversation, I was about to stop doing a project that I had already been doing. And that wasn't the reason for the phone call. So I figured, you know what, how I am with Shop Talk is basically is a lot of stuff that we actually go through and somebody else may be going through it. So when I got off the phone, after I finished crying and everything like that, the Holy Ghost had, our Holy Ghost, your conscience, whatever, something that's within you, begin to talk and have me to look up stumbling block. And I'm like, okay. So I looked up stumbling block, and when I looked it up, because and it made sense once I looked it up. But whenever I've heard people talk about stumbling blocks, I really only heard it in a Christian format. I never really heard it outside of that. But once I researched it and looked at it and really start to make sense of what the Holy Ghost was telling me, with my conscience, with my inner being, the inner God, whatever you want to call it, because this is not a religious topic right now, but whatever, when I researched it a little bit more, I thought about it that this actually, is not just something that will that needs to be talked about on a Christian format, but I think that it needs to be talked about on an entire format, because as we persist and as we're going forward and we're looking, towards our future and our goals, we have to understand that sometimes people will make us stumble. And again, when I heard about it in the church, it was more geared to people being, hypocritical. And so when you're out there doing something and being a hypocrite, you cause people to sin or whatever the case is. But so when I researched it and looked at it a little more, it still means the same, but it didn't even have anything to do with being hypocritical, right? It really didn't. It just basically talked about it. The definition I got was that it meant that anything that leads to kind of sin. But I'm not going to talk about sin in a religious context, because really, when I learned about sin on another level, on a higher plane, it meant missing the mark. So if you have a project or a business or a goal or a vision for your life, and somebody comes along and you know that you're supposed to be going to the left, but you go to the right, that person has now became a stumbling block and caused you to miss the mark. Meaning that I have a vision for my life, because the vision that I have was what, God, the higher being, anything, your purpose. I have this purpose that on my life. I was born with a purpose. We're all born with a purpose. We're all called to do something great here on life. We're all called to have an impact here on earth. So Shop Talk with the Heiress is always talking about purpose-driven things, for the future, for your business, for your life, for your goals, and everything like that. So God has given us a vision. God has made us to have a purpose here in life. And people sometimes come into your life and cause you to sin. I'm not talking about the sin that they're talking about in the Bible as far as adultery, fornication. I'm talking about missing the mark. That's the real definition of sin, is that you miss the mark of the high calling for your life, the purpose for your life. You miss that mark because somebody comes along and deters you from the purpose and the plan that you have for your life. And so I really wanted to hone in on this subject because of the simple fact that we don't really talk about this enough on a business standpoint, on a purpose, on our purpose, that we can actually sin by missing the mark of our purpose and our calling and the things that we're called to do here on earth. And so a stumbling block is anything or anyone that causes you to miss the mark for your life. So again, I'm trying to tell you, like, I was literally calling this person for information. And by the time I got off the phone, I literally was going to stop doing a project that I know that I'm called to do, because this person was interrogating me about my project. They was not. Here's the thing. Some people ask you for information because they truly want to know what it is that you're doing. And then there's some people that just really want to break you down. They don't care about what you're doing. They are questioning you. Hey, baby. They are questioning you to interrogate you, to actually deter you from what you're doing, to make you have doubt about what you are doing. So you have to be able to be aware of these type people that come into your life that really, they're not coming to help. They're not coming to uplift. They're not coming to encourage. They're not coming to support, but they're coming to give either doubt, to bring forth negativity, to influence you to go a different way. And they're coming as a stumbling block to have you miss the mark of the calling on your life. Calling on your life, yes, across the board. And we have to have spiritual discernment, even in business, even in relationships, even in friendships, when we're doing stuff, because it's so, literally, when I tell you, I can't make this up. I literally was in tears trying to figure out if I really was called to do what I was called to do. And I know that I'm called to do it, and I've been doing it. But after I got off the phone with this person, I was confused. I was completely confused. And so you got to be we really have to actually pay attention to what people are putting in or saying into us and speaking into us as we continue to go forth with our purpose. So we have to be able to be aware of the stumbling blocks in our life. Another example of a stumbling block is, I remember, when I was ready to party, anytime I was ready to party, go out and everything like that, I could pick 20 people. 20 people would come and party with me. More than 20. We would all go out and party. But when it comes down to creating a business, creating a team, right? Some of those people, where are all those people at now? So you gotta, be aware, because see, stumbling blocks come in the sense of, hey, I need to study for an exam, but that stumbling block comes and say, hey, it's Saturday night, you don't need to study for this exam, or it's Friday night, you shouldn't be studying for the exam is Monday, you got plenty of time to study. Let's go out, let's go hang out, let's go do this, let's go do that. And that stumbling block, that person has now because now it took you off path. Not that you see, you people think of sin and they only think of sin in fornication, adultery, gluttony, whoredom, theft, greed. But no, anything that causes you to miss the mark. So now I'm going out and I'm drinking, I'm partying and everything like that. My goal was to get an A on this exam and test, but now I'm out, I'm partying, I didn't study, I didn't, do what I need to do. And now when I go take this test, guess what? I got a D, and I actually needed an A so that I could pass this class. So, and it could be not even that deep. Maybe we didn't drink, maybe we didn't party, maybe I just went to the movies and I stayed out too late. But guess what? I just sinned. Why? Because I just missed the mark. Because the mark was for me to pass so that I could graduate, so I can get out of school, so I can do what I need to do, so I can become this, professional doctor or, nurse or, police officer. I don't know what you're called to do, but whatever it is that you're called to do it, if somebody is not supporting the thing that you're called to do and they're trying to take you to the left and when you're supposed to be going to the right, that is a stumbling block. That person is a stumbling block. What are you saying, Juan? Yes, but people will have you questioning you and what God, yes, in the natural and the spiritual realm. Yes, this is what I'm saying. So a lot of times, like I said, we're here on earth. We're spiritual beings here on earth. Okay? No matter what you want to say, we're spiritual beings here on earth. And we all have something that we are called to do. We have an assignment. Our time here is very short. Some of us is called to live 400 years. And some of us is called to just live 30, 40, 50, whatever time that you have on here. I don't know, only God knows, but in that time that you have, we don't need to be wasting it doing things that are not according to the plan and the vision for our lives. And so we have to be in tune to those people that are around us, that are influencing us, that are close to us, that can cause us to err from the mark of the high calling for our lives. We have to be able to discern who is really for us and who is really not. And here's the thing, I want to give you this example, and like I said, I normally don't talk scriptures on Shop Talk, but even Jesus had to be about his Father's business. And so when we talk about business, God is in business, okay? Anybody try to tell you that God is not a businessman, God is a businessman. He took 12 people and he created Jesus took 12 people and created an entire religion and impacted the whole world with 12 people. He did business. And he even got money out of the fish's mouth. So he did business, okay? So I'm gonna give you just a scripture, and it came from from Romans 14 and 13. This is when Jesus was about to go to the cross, and his best friend, his beloved Peter says, "No, you should not. You don't have to die. You don't have to go to the cross. You don't have to do that. That's not what I think you should be doing." He wanted him to stay with him. That's his homeboy. He wanted him to stay with him, right? He ain't trying to see his homeboy suffer. He ain't trying to see him, go to the cross, die for nobody. And that seems earthly great. Like, who wants to see their homeboy die, be, hung up on the cross, anything like that? Nobody don't think that we should have to go through some stuff. Sometimes, like they said, suffering sometimes is a gift. And so sometimes people be telling you, oh, you don't have to go through that. When I actually was going through my divorce or in my marriage, you know what I'm saying, and I was suffering. But some people like, you can get rid of. No, it wasn't the time. So now, Peter's like, nah, you ain't, nah, you're not called to go to the cross. And even Jesus had to rebuke him and say, "Get behind me, Satan." You know what I'm saying? Get behind me, Satan. He even had to say that. Get behind me, Satan. Matthew, oh, I'm sorry, I said the scripture wrong. That was Matthew 16:23. He told me, get behind me, Satan. He said, you're an offense to me. You're a stumbling block. A stumbling block will cause an offense to you. He said, you say things that are not of God, but of men. So you got to understand that some people don't know what God is calling for you to do in your life. Some people don't know the purpose and the plan for your life, and they put their 2 cents, they put their opinion in it, and their opinion don't mean nothing. That it doesn't mean nothing if it's going to cause you to miss the mark from where you're supposed to go and the things that you're supposed to do and the calling that's on your life. So we really, 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 really got to be aware of these things, because it may be somebody close to you and they have an opinion, and their opinion may sound good. It may sound good. It might not be that it's something they said something totally wrong and disrespectful, but what it was is still an offense. It's still a stumbling block, because it's going to deter you from where you're supposed to go. It's going to deter you off the vision that God has for you. And it may make earthly sense, but it ain't good for your life and for the call letters on your life. So even though it may come soft and it may sound good, but it could be completely off. And I think the scripture that I was talking about, Romans 14:13, it says, therefore let us not pass judgment on one another any longer, but rather decide never to put a stumbling block or a hindrance in the way of a brother. See, sometimes we'll judge a situation and judge somebody, and in that judgment it causes a hindrance. So this person was pretty much, when a person is not answering me a question to actually get an answer, when a person is asking you a question not for an answer, that means they already judged the situation. They already decided that whatever you say out of your mouth, they're not going to receive. So personally, I don't even know why they ask the question, because they're not really trying to hear you. But they're already judging the situation. They're already judging the circumstance. They're already judging what you intend to say. So they're not even hearing you from the beginning anyway. And in that, it causes an offense, and it can cause you to stumble. It will hinder you from where you're trying to go, because now you may have doubt. Now you may begin to question yourself. You may begin to question your purpose. You may begin to question if you're good enough or anything, just because someone else's opinion and judgment on you. So we have to really be aware of how people, the intent. I think what it is learning people's intent. A lot of times when people are talking to me, the first thing that I'm asking myself is, why are they telling me so? Especially when you have people who are quick to come and tell you something, like they was having a conversation and all of a sudden they want to come and tell you what such and such said about you, or what was going on in the situation. And I'm like, what is the intent behind this conversation? Are you trying to get me to agree with the foolishness? You know what I'm saying? Or what? I mean, what is the intent? What is your motives operandus for the conversation? And you have to really hone in on why people even want to be around you. It's gotten to the point where you really have to discern why a person even want to be connected to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, why I'm going to get to a point where I'm going to start asking people, like, are you coming here to help me, or are you coming here to tear down what I already got? Like, what is your purpose? What is your reasoning for wanting to be attached to me in some type of way? Because, you know, I have 100 million things that I need to get done, and I have enough friends. Thank God. And you know, I have room for more friends if you come in to be a friend. I have more room for more business associates if you're coming to associate with me with business. But I don't have any room in my life for anybody that's trying to trip me up, cause me to fall, cause me to live off purpose, cause me to miss the mark, which is really sin. I don't have room for that in my life, and I don't think that you should have room for that in your life either. If people are not coming into your life to create win-wins with you. This is Shop Talk with the Heiress, and we're talking about stumbling blocks. If people are not coming in to help, to uplift, to encourage, to build, to strengthen, then why are you here? And I know that God calls me to come in people's lives to help, to encourage, to strengthen. And if that's not what my purpose is for a person, even because sometimes a person can't help me, but I'm called to help them. So we need to figure out, are you called to help me, or am I called to help you? But at the end of the day, you're not going to get in my way. And already having a made up mind that I'm not letting people get in my way. That's what a stumbling block does. It hinders. It gets in your way. It stops you from fulfilling the purpose and the call on your life. And so if there's somebody in your life that is hindering you from the purpose and the call on your life, whether that be in business, whether that be in a relationship, again, you know, single women, you know, if you desire, I just had a conversation with somebody, like if you're desiring to have a husband and that is your desire, then why are you talking to people that are not husband, they're not husband material? I mean, I know that when I went and when I was searching for a husband, when I was actually not searching because I really wasn't looking, when I was waiting on a husband, you know, I was celibate and I was waiting on a husband. After having conversations with some people, you can have a conversation with a man. Women, we talk too much. We do a lot of talking and we don't do enough listening. I'm sorry, we do a lot of talking, we're not doing a lot of listening. And so you say you're waiting for a husband. You say you want a husband and you desire to be married. But you're talking to someone who got 5 or 6 girlfriends that he's already juggling. And you know about it. Like, you know he's juggling 5, 6 girls. And you think it's cute. And you think that he ain't finna juggle you. Oh, no, I'm sorry. What you think is that you're going to change him because you're going to be the one that changed his mind about being married. Child, if that man is not already preparing himself for marriage mentally, financially, and all of that, then at the end of the day, he's just a stumbling block. He in a way. He's a hindrance to the person that you actually are called to marry. Yes, you're going to sin because you're going to miss the mark. You're going to get the wrong one. And you're going to have the wrong man and you'll be in a relationship probably 3, 4, 5 years with somebody who ain't ready to be married. And then by the time he is, you done got tired, you frustrated, you done left. And then by the time he get ready to be married, he done married somebody else because he wasn't never ready for you in the first place. Men, same thing. Same thing, men. Same thing, men. Same thing, men. You telling you want a good girl, you want this, You want a woman that do this and do that, but at the end of the day, you out all the time with your homeboys, and you run around after every skirt tail that she ain't got nothing up here, but you thinking with the wrong head. Her mind is better. She just as dipsy as she want to be, but she cute. She got a big old booty, and she could drop it like it's hot. And you missed the mark. She's a hindrance. She's not what you said you wanted. That's not the goal. That wasn't the goal. So we have to really be clear on what our goals are in life, so that when we have a clear direction of what our goals are, then we can clearly see who's the hindrance, who's the stumbling block. And we can begin to remove those things. And those people that are in the way of your vision for your life. You're in the way. And, Father's Day was yesterday. I didn't get on there and I ain't bash not one guy. I sure enough ain't gonna bash my baby fathers, because I picked them. I picked them, right? So I'm here. When I talk about something, I'm talking about, I can talk about it because I done lived it, okay? So I didn't get on there to bash nobody's, no males. And women, we gotta stop being hindrances. We say that we want our children to have a father in their lives. We say that we know that we can't, especially women that have male children, that we can't raise, our son. We can raise them, but to the potential of being a man, we need the help of a male. And so a lot of times us women, I'm just going to say it because Father's Day was yesterday. A lot of times us women, we are a hindrance. We are stumbling blocks to these men that are trying to be fathers to their children, because the man don't want us no more. So at the end of the day, we want to be hindrances to them from allowing them to be be in their children's lives. So then we actually become stumbling blocks and hindrances, not only to those men, but even to our children. Because a child needs both parents in their lives. And I'm speaking because I got 3 children. And they need and I say it all the time. You know what I'm saying? Now, I ain't never stopped one of my kids' fathers from seeing them. Now, their own choices have hindered them. But women, we cannot be hindrances to these men who are really trying to be fathers to their children. I'm just putting it out there because Father's Day was yesterday, and we're talking about stumbling blocks. And I know I'm talking about for us to be aware of the stumbling blocks in our lives, but I think sometimes we have to be aware if we're actually the stumbling blocks. If you're in somebody's life and you are judging them and hindering them from moving forward and getting in the way of what God is calling them to do, don't put your mouth on people. Stop putting your mouth on people. Stop thinking you know what other people are supposed to be doing. Here's the thing. Y'all know when I get crunked up. Here's the thing. When you halfway don't know what the purpose for your life is, how is it that you got everybody else's life figured out? I'm really confused, because I know that 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, I am always trying to figure out what I need to be doing, what I need to be doing next, how I need to be doing it. How can I be a help? How can I be of assistance to people? What's the next project? in my life? How can I make my life more meaningful? I got so much, there's only enough time a lot of time for me to think about what it is that I should be doing with my life. And I sometimes confused about my own life. Now, it's one thing for if somebody come to me and say, Leslie, Heiress, I need your help. And, I need some direction and, some guidance. Then when you come, trust that I'm going to give it to you blood, raw. I'm raw with no chaser, so don't come ask me nothing and you're not ready to hear what I got to say, because then you coming to the wrong person. You better pray to God first and make sure he told you to come to ask me, because I'm gonna give it to you straight with no chaser. I try to be a little, I'm gonna try to be a little, a little nice, but I am a real live pit bull. So they used to call me a red-nosed pit. So, in those cases, when a person comes to me and everything, then, I'll sit down, I'll pray with you and, try to get, whatever God has for me to say to you at that moment. If I don't have anything, I'm going to pray about it and I'll talk to you about it later, or whatever the case is. But for me to just go and be trying to just be around the street, across the street over there, and somebody else's stuff that don't got nothing to do with me, like, I ain't beat. I got my own stuff going on. I'm not beat. I don't want to be in it. I'm not, like they said, my name is Bennett. I ain't in it. I just don't have the time or the strength or the energy, you know what I'm saying, to be trying to figure out somebody else's stuff. So I'm kind of confused as to how people be really in other people's stuff and you ain't figured out what you supposed to be doing next. But you got all the answers for everybody else. Come on, we gotta get out of there. You know what I'm saying? But if a person is coming to you and asking you for clear directions and information, then, pray about it. Make sure, that you not just giving your opinion, you know what I'm saying? And you can give some suggestions and people can take from what you gave them and apply it to their lives if they so choose to. But don't be just going and putting your mouth on people and talking just nonsense. Just nonsense because what you think is right. And you don't even know. You don't know what's right for you. So how you gonna know what's right for somebody else? You know what I'm saying? So let us not be hindrances. And let us identify when we have someone that is hindering us from moving forward in the things that we're called to do. We really have to be able to identify those things. And, you can, like I said, I got off the phone. Hey, girl, what's going on for team? I ain't seen you in forever. Call me. But anyway, so, I got off the phone with this person who, like I said, was interrogating me. And when I got off the phone, I began to question, was I really called to do such a thing? And that's when you want to really hone in with yourself and say, this person right here, even though they may love you, I'm not going to say that person was not speaking out of love. I'm not going to say that, because I don't think that person meant any malice when they were speaking to me. I don't think that, that they were trying to cause me pain, but I think that the person, because they don't know what God is calling, or they didn't know what God is calling for me to do, and instead of really getting an understanding of what God is trying to calls for me to do, instead of really trying to hear what I was trying to say, or when they was asking me questions, instead of them really trying to have an understanding, they already judged the situation, so they couldn't understand what I was trying to say. And that, once I got off the phone, I began to question myself, and I realized when I got off, and the Spirit inside of me, the Holy Ghost inside of me, say, look up stumbling block. And what that was trying to tell me was, this person was actually going to cause me to err in the things that God has called me to do. And I almost fell victim to that. I almost really was not going to continue on and doing the things that I'm called to do. So I say this because we all are called, again, to do something great here on earth. And you have to be able to identify a hindrance in your life. And because if you don't identify those that hinder you from your call, from your purpose, then what you're going to always do is not fulfill it. You cannot fulfill stuff that's when you have something in the way. That's what a stumbling block is. It's a big old block that hinders you from moving forward. It will hinder you from moving forward and cause you to miss the mark. So you have to truly identify who these people are, or what these things are that are in the way of what you're called to do, and on this here earth, because we're all called to do something great. And if there's someone or something that's in the way, you need to be able to identify that and make changes. You need to identify that and begin to move that out of the way. You have to be able to identify, even if you are a stumbling block. I remember I was working for Mount Zion, and I was working there, and I was good at my job, and I was doing good, but the where they were going and what they were trying to do, I wasn't on board on what they were trying to do. And instead of me getting in the way of what they were trying to do, I had to take a look at myself and say, you know what? They are going to the left, and I'm not moving with them. And instead of me just sitting here at this job, making the money because I can, because I'm getting paid, and no one, the lady, she didn't want to fire me, and because people like you and they love you, and they don't want to be mean. Some people don't want to be mean, right? So, I wasn't performing at 100%. I wasn't giving them 100%. Why wasn't I giving them 100%? Because I wasn't on board with what they were doing. And so you have to be able to say, you know what? I can't give you what you need. And because I'm not able to give you what you need, I need to get out the way. I need to not be the stumbling block. I need to not be the hindrance. So I wound up resigning because I knew I wasn't going to give 100, 200%. in that organization because our beliefs begin to be different. The vision for what they were doing and the vision from what I wanted to do were different. And it didn't mean that we had to be mean to each other. It just meant that I had to search myself and realize that I'm not going to give 100% because I don't agree. So let me move myself out the way so that they can get what they need and I can get what I need. And I think that a lot of the times when we are hindrances, because we can be hindrances too. We always looking at other people, but we can look at ourselves and say, you know what? Let me move out the way. Let me not be a hindrance. Because if I'm a hindrance, then I'm causing a person to stumble. So let me get out the way so that this person, this organization, this company, whoever, my friend, you know, if I'm a friend of a person and I know that this person is actually trying to do better for themselves and I'm not ready, and you know what I'm saying, I'm not ready to do better for myself, I want to do something else, then guess what you can do as a good friend? Guess what you can do? You can get out the way. You can move out of the way of that person so that they can be all that they need to be, or out of the way of that organization. Stop going to work for a paycheck. Stop going to work for a paycheck. Because a lot of y'all are really hindrances to companies because you just want a paycheck, but you don't want to actually put in the work that requires for you to have that paycheck. So you're sitting on these jobs, you have doing what you need to do. You're teachers, but you don't want to teach. You're nurses, but you really don't want to nurse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on. I can go on. You in customer services and you mean is I don't know what. You in customer service, you ain't got no smile. You can't smile. You can't be happy. You know what I'm saying? Then that's not the job for you. You hindering yourself and you're hindering the company. So you're being a stumbling block. You're missing the mark. You causing sin all the time. So when I talk about being a stumbling block and being aware of the stumbling block, I'm talking about even you looking at yourself and seeing where you may cause someone to err, miss the mark, not do right. You know what I'm saying? So as you are looking at others and searching to see if, you know, you have stumbling blocks in your life, also, I challenge you here on Shop Talk with the Heiress to also look at your life and see where you may be a stumbling block in somebody else's life, or in an organization, or a company, or a friendship, and be the bigger person and you remove yourself from being a hindrance. You know what I'm saying? You know your mind ain't right now. Get out the way. Get out the way. Yeah, I remember I was dating this guy. Oh my God, I was so in love with this guy. I was dating him. And this guy literally said to me that he knew that I was called to do something great. And at this time in his life, he wasn't ready to give me what I needed. And nobody wants to hear that, right? But the honesty behind that was like, at the end of the day, I couldn't even say that this guy didn't love me. No, he loved me enough to move himself out of my life so that I can actually go forth and do what I was supposed to be doing in that season. And that's when you really care about somebody. You know what I'm saying? When you can be honest with yourself and be like, you know what? I need to move out the way because there's greatness upon you and I don't want to be in the way. So that's a level of maturity that we all should aspire to. if you are the stumbling block, because it's not one, for us to just look at the stumbling blocks. But what if I am the stumbling block? What if I'm the one that's the stumbling block? Then what do I need to do? How do I make it right? How do I make it better? So that's just self-examination. And UKCF Church, that was one thing that was one of our values there when I was there. It was self-examination promotes growth. So we have to be able to examine ourselves and also examine those that are around us and discern those that are around us. Make sure that those that are around us is, supposed to be around us. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not, then we need to be able to, go our way. Like, listen, I'm not letting you get in my way. I don't want to get in your way. And I'm sure enough not going to let you be in my way. So we going to have to do something about it. So, like I said, I normally don't bring, a lot of scriptures in on Mondays, shop talk, but I am who I am. And everybody knows who I am. Everybody knows that I'm a Bible thumper. And you know what I'm saying? So and I'm a researcher. So any time I talk about a subject, I want to know about the subject that I'm talking about. And this situation calls for me to actually pick and go into the scriptures today so that you can discern the stumbling blocks in your life. Because we got somewhere to go. We got somewhere to go. We got people to meet, things to do. And we cannot let people, places, things get in our way, get in the way of our purpose, get in the way of our anointing, get in the way of the call on our lives. So I encourage you to challenge yourself, look at yourself, see if you're the stumbling block, look at those around you, see who and what is hindering you from what you're called to do, and begin to make changes. Begin to make changes. So if it's somebody that is in your life, I like to give real life applications. If it's someone that's in your life that's actually being a stumbling block, causing you to be hindered or moving forward in your life, start to think about how you feel when you leave that person. How you feel when you leave the presence of that person. A lot of times we're not paying attention when we go into a room, and sometimes we go into the room and we're happy, but we come out drained. That might not be where you need to be going, or that might not be the person that you need to be around. If people and places is causing you to lose your joy, lose your sleep, doubt your calling, doubt who you are, cause confusion, cause stress, then you definitely need to begin to make some changes. And if you are the one that is doing those things, then you still need to be making changes. So I'm about to turn this music back on because I like that song that I was playing, and we about to be out. I thank you guys for tuning in. This is Shop Talk with the Heiress. Being aware of the stumbling blocks in our lives, being aware if we're the one that is causing the stumbling block, but always keeping a smile on your face, enjoying yourself. Thank you for tuning in. Shop Talk with the Heiress. I know I did go on earlier because I am tired. So I'm going to let this Miss Indy Iree close us out. I thank y'all for tuning in, and hopefully y'all enjoyed the topic tonight. Enjoy yourselves. This is my song. This is my little theme for tonight. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Hey Karma. Hey Angel. Hey Keo. Hey Talina. How y'all doing? Hey, Alex, Motez, Lee, Marcy, Karen, Joanna, Jacinda, Charissa. Thank y'all for tuning in. Joseph, cousin. Yes. Thank y'all for tuning in. Lucy, Bobby, Michelle, Shaquila. Thank y'all all for tuning in. See y'all next Monday. Shop Talk with the Heiress. If it's something that you want me to talk about, if it's something that you want to talk about, and you want to come on here and be live with me, inbox me. Let me know. We can discuss anything. This is the shop. You know, we talk a lot in the shop, and all topics are wanted. Ain't no topic excluded. This the shop. It's the safe place where you can talk about whatever you want to talk about in here and have a discussion. So, enjoy your night. It's Monday. Hey, I don't go out, so I enjoy myself right in the amusement of my own time and place. Yes. Hey. Ho. Have a good night, y'all. Yes. Enjoy life. You got to live your best life. Don't let nobody deter you from your dreams. Let nobody be a hindrance to what you got going on, because God has purpose and called you to another level. And life is supposed to be enjoyed. Yes.
It's like his hands in my body been friends before. Ooh.
He's got that magic.
Man next to him is someone thing. In a world of cocaine, he's like fine champagne.
He likes champagne.
And he's also odd and so unique. Everything about this man is made especially for me.
I need someone that's made for me, like I said. Yes. Enjoy your night, y'all. I'm going home, Netflixing it up. Till Monday, I'll see y'all again. Good night. Rock out to India Irie. Yeah.
He's got that magic. Ooh. He's got that magic. Oh, the way he touches me is so spiritual. He's so everything. He's a miracle. Yeah.
Hey, aye. Good night, y'all.